dog.
Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smart, and I'm here to bring you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. Timestamps are down in the description box below if you want to get directly into the show. I completely forgot that Vengeance Day was coming on today. Thank you, Tony Khan, for being a fuck up. Yes. Thank God. I cannot remember the last time I watched NXT as far as a review. It's been like maybe 3 or 4 months. Again, unfortunately, if you guys know, if you don't know, hard to keep up with Raw and SmackDown in regards to reviewing it, because those are my most important days as far as work is considered. It's my inventory and my truck day, and I can't keep up with it like I would like to, but I do keep up with it. I just can't keep up with it in regards to reviewing the show, and it's about to be the same thing for SmackDown, honestly, too. I'm trying my best to get around that, but that's difficult in its own right. But nevertheless, though, let's go down some of these matches, because some people I might be familiar with in regards to some of the feuds going on, some of them I might not be familiar with. So, for example, Trick Williams and Eddy Thorpe, not necessarily familiar with their current feud, but hey, it's a strap match, so I'm curious. Nathan and Fraxiom, we're just gonna call him Fraxiom for now, teaming up with each other to take on Josh Briggs and Yoshiki and Inamura. I guess I'm saying whatever, for the tag team championships. Javon Evans versus Ethan Page. They had a television match not too long ago, didn't they? Like a couple of months ago, right? Or maybe I'm tripping. I don't know. Giulia, Bayley, Roxanne, Perez, and Cora, Jade are gonna have a fatal 4-way match for the NXT championship. I know Giulia recently won it, I think from Roxanne Perez, right? And it looks like Roxanne's about to go up to the main roster, so see how that's gonna go. Obviously Bayley's not gonna be down there for too long, so I'm pretty sure after this they're gonna probably move on to Cora, Jade, and Giulia, but we'll see how that's gonna go. That's actually looks like that's gonna be a really fun match. Fallon Henley, nice to know that she's North American champion since the last time I seen her. She's gonna take on Stephanie Vaquer for the NXT North American Women's Championship. Should be a very exciting match. And in the main event, Femi versus Austin Theory versus Grayson Waller for the NXT Championship. So they ran with the SmackDown angle with Grayson being mean to Austin Theory. They ran with that in NXT instead. Interesting. I mean, obviously Oba's gonna win the match, but I'm curious to see. I've never seen that before. Them run with a main roster angle in NXT instead, because they started all this stuff off right when they lost the tag team championships. But like I said, looks like a solid show, very solid show. I mean, a bit predictable. If I had to guess, I'm not going to put out the predictions on the community post because I'm running kind of short on time here. But if I had to guess, Oba, obviously. I'm going to guess Stephanie Vaquer, only because it looks like that's the only championship I could feasibly see in turning hands at the moment. Giulia, when retaining, obviously. Nathan... Fraxiom retaining, because they've been retaining so much often. I don't see why they would lose the tag team champions this randomly. I'm gonna say I'm kind of on the fence. Javon Evans to beat Ethan Page, but if Ethan beat him, I wouldn't be surprised. And I got Trick beating Eddy, so yeah, pretty solid for the most part. And actually, I take that back. I'm gonna say Eddy beating Trick, because that is his match type. He is the Native American, and I guess they're gonna want to set someone up to go up against Oba, because I don't know how many times can you run back Oba and Trick Williams, right? But with that being said, folks, let's get into it. NXT Vengeance Day. First off, let me just say this really quick. Just got to get this out of the way. Stephanie Vaquer has ass. I think that's already been recognized, but I would just like to, remind you guys. It's very hard. It was very hard concentrating on this match with so much contrasting colors. Yeah. Yeah, that's just something I had to talk about. Oh, and one more thing also. Yo, I completely forgot. Corey Gray's bitch ass is on NXT now. I don't like him on NXT. I don't like him at all on color commentary. I like it when it's just Booker T and Vic. Was it Vic Grimes? Is that his name? I could be wrong, right? But it's something Vic Venom, Vic Venom, whatever. I'm gonna call him Vic, whatever. I like it better when it's just Booker T and it's Vic. They have a chemistry, and I kind of feel like Corey Graves just inserts his will and like takes away from all that chemistry. Like, can he just take his bitch ass somewhere else? He just does not fit, bro. He throws off the entire aura. Just keep it where it's just Booker T and Vic, bro. Just kind of, like I said earlier, it reminds me of Michael Cole and Taz. I like it better that way. Why did they have to involve Corey Graves and stuff? He just throws off all the vibes, bro. But nevertheless, though, this match, it was a fine match. Now, I'm not going to lie. There were some spots in there that were questionable. I like how it started off with, first off, the presentation is great for both girls. More in particular, Stephanie Vaquer. I like how she comes out, her entrance. She seems like a star. She's clearly a star. She demands your attention. You know, again, she's fine as fuck, so that also helps out a lot too. But the actual match, as far as how it started off, lots of submission wrestling. Not necessarily catch wrestling, but just lots of submission wrestling. You know, we got a bunch of arm bars, a bunch of single legs. You know, just really, really good work. Lots of counters. You know, those girls are really good at what they were doing. More in particular, again, Stephanie Vaquer. But as time started to go on and they started to get more into the match, you can clearly tell there was a bit of a disconnect. And the disconnect, surprisingly, was not coming from Fallon Henley. It looked like it was coming more from Stephanie Vaquer. Like, it looked like Fallon was trying to set up for a couple of spots, but I don't know, like maybe there was a bit of a miscommunication. Not to say that they were necessarily botching. It wasn't a botch. It was just like you can look at the move and you can kind of tell like, okay, like it was kind of clumsy. Like, you know what I mean? Hell, there was even one spot where Stephanie Vaquer was leaning on the ropes, like she was in a 619 position or a boss man attack position. And Fallon, she ran to the ropes and she rebounded off, and it looked like she was gonna go for a move, but then she kind of stopped and she had like this frustrated look on her face, and then she walked up to Stephanie, and then she just started jumping on top of her neck, like how Jericho used to do back in the days, playing into the crowd. Like, again, it just looked like there was a bit of miscommunication. Nothing that was crazy, but it was noticeable. And you know, eventually it did pick up a little bit more, and the girls were trading back, you know, suplexes. Got a nice little pump handle superplex, or pump handle suplex from Fallon Henley for a near fall. And then, you know, Stephanie, she was, again, the momentum of it once you got towards like this portion right here was just very cliche. You know what I mean? Especially with like the factions involved and stuff like that. So you had all the girls from, you know, Fatal Attraction or Fatal Influence, you know, what's her name? Jasmine Minx, right? And the other girl was not Britt Baker, but her fucking twin. I forgot her name. The girl that was with Gigi Dolan and motherfucker, Mandy. Almost said Mandy Moore. Mandy. I can't think. Mindy Rose. There you go. Shit. Forgot her name too. Shit. But nevertheless, so they just kept trying to get involved in the match, and eventually, Stephanie took them all out. Ended up hitting both of them with roundhouse kicks. What's her name? Tried to go for like a 619 around the pole and to kick her in the face, Fallon Henley, but then she was blocked off. Stephanie ended up doing like this. I don't know what the hell was going on, because it looked like she hit the move fine, but nobody reacted to it. She went for like a double arm into a lung blower. That's what it looked like, but nobody really reacted to it, not even the commentators. It was weird. And then she followed that up with a springboard from the inside of the ring to the outside of the ring for crossbody, took all the women out, including Fallon, threw her back in the ring, immediately hit her with that terrible fucking setup finisher. I've seen her do that before. I fucking hate that move. She calls it the SB, or what was this? I guess maybe that stands for Super Bat Breaker. I'm not sure. Where she puts her in the package power driver position to drop her across the knee. And then she hit her with actually a good finisher with a spiral tap in order to pick up the win. And now she's the new North American Women's Champion. Again, it was a so-so match. It was fine. I'll say this. It was a fine match. Could have been better? Yes. more so because of the middle portion. You know what I mean? The middle portion was just, it was a little bit suspect. But the girls did recover. They did recover. The audience reaction was there in the beginning and kind of whined a little bit. And like I said, the opener, as far as them transitioning holes and stuff like that, I like that a little bit. But it was a fine match, okay? And an okay to fine match. It didn't really hurt anybody in the end of the day, I guess. But hey, Stephanie Vaquer is the new North American Women's Champion, so hopefully she has a dominating reign. Hopefully her reign kicks a lot of ass. But hey, it is what it is. Fallon Henley, good job carrying the belt, I guess. All right, awesome match with a nice little angle in the end. I like that. We have Fraxiom, who just won their match against Josh Briggs and the other guy whose name I cannot pronounce, Yoshiki Inamura. I'm going to say it just like that. Yoshiki Inamura, whatever. Still a fun match nonetheless. Fraxiom went out there, and boy, oh boy, they're fun, man. They remind me of Paul London and Brian Kendrick, like circa 2007. Their matches is what I kind of expected Motor City Machine Guns to bring to WWE. But obviously, they're older. It's going to be so much that they can do. But nevertheless, though, these guys went out there and they had a fun match. You know, it was like AEW style, but a hell of a lot more contained, a hell of a lot more reserved. Most of it, not all of it, most of it. There was like maybe one or two spots that I did question a little tiny bit. But it was just fun nonetheless, watching those guys go out there and flip all over the ring and do their thing. Would I say there was anything that was supremely innovative, anything that really stood out, that was drastic? Not necessarily. As far as like the moves and, you know, the innovation in itself. I will say though, like, you know, the one negative thing that I will say about it is, like, if you want, and this goes for any wrestler in general, this goes for any wrestling company in general, if you really want to go out there and you really feel the need that you have to do some kind of contrive, you know, I don't know, like some type of contrived bullshit spot, just make sure whatever you do, just don't let it look fake. Like, it's not really that hard to not do as a wrestler. It's your job. And if you know that there's like a little bit of a chink in the armor as far as how it makes it look and how it comes across on television, you know, when it looks like that there's just so much obvious cooperation around it, then don't do it. Just don't do it. That's my thing. Like, it was a spot where you had Josh Briggs. He ended up grabbing Nathan. He ended up grabbing him by the throat on the top of the turnbuckle, right? And it looks like he's gonna hit him with a choke slam from the turnbuckle, but then, you know, Axiom stood up and he's like standing right there, and he's like I'm like, dude, go hit him, go attack him. Why are you just standing there? He's like, no, and then, you know, fucking what's his name ended up Josh Briggs, he ended up choke slamming him onto Axiom. And it's like, dude, you could have moved out the way, attacked him. It's just goofy shit like that I really, really fucking hate, because you have to get your spot in, brother. We gotta get the spot in, brother. Like, it's not necessary. It's stupid. Like, it's really, really dumb. It really is. It's really, really fucking dumb. But like I said, it didn't really necessarily affect the match. I mean, had they done stuff like that a few more times, it would have. But nevertheless, though, the finish did come where you did have this big Japanese guy, Yoshiki, which he did look impressive. I mean, as far as the moves are considered, he himself doesn't look impressive, but not too many Japanese talents do. You had Nathan hit a moonsault on Josh Briggs. Then he ran back inside the ring, and him and Axiom did this dope ass finisher. Maybe they've done it before. I've never seen it done before, but like, they took the eliminator spot. You know what I mean? Like the whole high-low leg sweep jumping calf kick. They did that, but like in a more unique way. Like, Axiom ended up doing the leg sweep, and Nathan ended up hitting he ended up hitting like a missile drop kick at the same time. That was lit. I like that shit a lot. That was really, really dope. They did it on fucking Yoshitatsu, and you know, they ended up winning the match. That shit was hard as fuck. That was a really, really hard ass tag team finish. I don't know what they call it, but that was really lit. And afterwards, they started to shake hands. camaraderie. And out of nowhere comes these 4 guys. And I've seen them presented on social media. Not they themselves, because obviously this was their debut. But like, they had, silhouettes on them. It's how NXT were presenting them. So, I guess they're new guys. They came in with like a attack, started to beat the crap out of them. Very similar, but not even remotely fucking close to as effective as how the Nexus, would attack people back in the days, or I don't know, maybe the Shield, I guess, or something like that. If you really want, what's the name of that old group back in 2020? The ones during the COVID period that I forgot their fucking names. The one that no one ever wants to remember again. The worst group of all fucking time. The one that Mustafa Ali was leading. Whatever their fucking names is. They did that kind of style of attack and ambushed the ring and beat the dog shit out of Fraxiom and Josh Briggs and Yoshiki. Just beat the dog shit out of them. And you got the fans going, "Who are you? Who are you? Who?" I'm doing the same thing. "Who are you? Who are you?" Hearing the commentaries, they're like saying that, is that who I think it is? Is that Melvin Jackson? Wait, is that Timothy Longstock? Who's that? That's Jeremy Brown. Like, I don't know who the fuck these people are. Why are you saying their names like I know who the fuck they are? But it was a nice little match, like I said. The angle that came off of it, put a little bit of a cherry on top of it. Just, chill with the choreographed stuff. If you're gonna do it, don't make it look too obvious. That's all I'm saying. Shit, I could be wrong, but it almost looked like Trick Williams about to come out to the main roster. I was not expecting that at all. He beat him clean as a whistle. I mean, well, maybe not as a whistle, because it is a, stipulated match. That too, I kind of thought they were gonna do like the touch the turnbuckles style type of strap match. But I guess like they really wanted to put him over straight up with no bullshit attached to it. Because I thought, okay, maybe there's a possibility he could win. In the back of my mind, I was saying this. I'm like, if they do the whole 4 corner stuff like they did with JBL and Eddy, or like Punk and McIntyre last year, there's a possibility that he could touch all 4 corners, and that's a way he could win the match without beating somebody clean, right? Nah, and these guys went out there and it was pretty good. It was fine. Nothing that was super crazy or extravagant. I will note that there was one little spot that was kind of nasty, but I don't think it was on purpose. But like, yeah, the guys went out there, started to whip them. I mean, before the match even started, Trick comes in, Booker does the whole little gimmick, oh yeah, sound like a early GTA 2 video game with the Elvis Presley impersonator. I don't know, anyone ever heard that? I mean, does that remind anyone? Okay, whatever. But while Trick Williams was celebrating, Eddy Thorpe, he gets in the ring and he beats the dog shit out of him right before the bell even rings. Also, I like how they prepare for their matches. You have Eddy Thorpe, he's like looking at the leather strap and he's like feeling it, trying to like, get himself in the game. And here you have Trick Williams getting a fade in the back. I'm like, okay. It shows you where their priorities are, right? But like I said, Eddy Thorpe, he attacked Trick Williams before the match even started. Eventually, Trick Williams got the upper hand, right? And when he got the upper hand, they started to fight outside the ring. Nothing super crazy, like I said, just a nice little brawl. Both guys going at it, beating the crap out of each other. Eventually, they do get inside the ring, and the match officially starts. Trick Williams, he ends up putting the strap on Eddy Thorpe's hand. They, again, nothing crazy. Just little small back and forth. Them throwing blows at each other. Them just knocking each other out. Strong attacks here. Nothing that I can really say was, like, noteworthy, necessarily. Just a standard Bob's your uncle, big man beating the crap out of each other type of match. Now, there was one spot in particular where you had Eddy Thorpe, right? He's taking Trick Williams' comeback, right? A couple of attacks here, a couple of attacks there. And Trick Williams, he's supposed to follow up with a kip up, right? Shawn Michaels kip up. When he kipped up, I guess Eddy Thorpe was too close to him. So like he kicked up and he stood up and he landed right on Eddy Thorpe's face. And like while he's like rolling and selling, which I don't think he's really selling, Trick Williams, he raised his arms up like, I mean, shit, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Get your ass out the way, I guess. But then again, I guess in character, he's also saying like, life goes on. Actually, hang on for a second. I see Ricky Starks. Hang on for 1 second. Hang on. Oh, that was just Ricky essentially saying that he's going to be signing a contract, his official contract coming up on NXT. I don't think I remember them mentioning his name, though. Then again, I didn't hear it because I was turning up the TV. So maybe he did mention, because still not sure what his official name is going to be. If they haven't even revealed it yet, maybe they did. I'm not sure. But nevertheless, so getting back to the match, right? After that whole bullshit kip up spot, eventually, it looked like Trick Williams was about to go for something else, right? And he ended up, I think he was trying to go for the trick knee, because he hit the first trick knee, which knocked Eddy outside the ring, knocked him out cold. This is right after the kip up spot, right? And he was trying to pull him inside the ring via the rope or the belt, but he couldn't get him in, so he threw him back in the ring physically. When he threw him back in the ring, it looked like he was going to go for another trick knee before Eddy Thorpe dodged it. And when he dodged it, like Trick kind of put himself like right over the rope, the belt rope, right? So he's like bridging the rope, and Eddy just lifted it up the map and he just low blowed him with the rope. And as he turned around, selling the low blow, Eddy just hit him with a running kick to the face, which is apparently like 95% of everybody's finish. I don't know, right? Is it just me, or does it just feel like if you can't find a finisher, just go with a running strike, like of any kind? Spear, elbow, knee, kick, it doesn't matter. You can't find a good finisher, go with a running like, goddamn, you guys are so fucking uncreative. But Eddy Thorpe did pick up the pretty, I don't know what else to expect. It's an upset. He picked up the upset win from a former NXT World Champion. Now, are they going to follow up with this when it's all said and done? Or, like I said, is this Trick Williams going up to the main roster? I guess only time will tell as the weeks start to go on. But, it was a fine match. It did its thing. I feel like I'm saying fine a lot, but that's what we've been getting as of late. You know what I mean? So hopefully it'll pick up the pace and give us something a little bit more pay-per-view quality. But for what it's worth, it did its thing. I say it did its thing. It did its thing. That was a really, really fun match. That match kicked a lot of fucking ass. Javon Evans versus Ethan Page. That kicked a lot of fucking ass. The storytelling in this match was really, really solid. This was some solid fucking storytelling. So I do remember this feud now. Wow, they've actually been building this up quite a while then, because this is like 2 months now? It's been like about 2 months since I seen the whole spot with Ethan Page putting Javon Evans' jaw right in the chair and him stepping on it and the blood splurting out of his mouth. Oh, look, Javon Evans is bleeding again. He's bleeding again. Oh, he's bleeding profusely again. Dude, they're making Javon Evans to a huge fucking babyface if they keep this kind of shit up. Keep that shit up, bro. Keep that shit up. That's how you build superstars for real. And how that finish played out. That's how you build fucking superstars, man. That's how you keep superstars strong. That's how you actually grow a potential, not even just a baby face. That's how you grow the face of your next brand, bruh. Good job. Just great quality work here. So, like I said, the storytelling, like I said, is building off of the fact that Javon Evans wants revenge off of Ethan. He wants revenge from Ethan Page after that horrific attack he did to him a couple of weeks ago, right? So, like, he's not coming out here to taunt or to play to the crowd or to anything like that. He gets in the ring and immediately he's trying to throw hands with Ethan Page. But Ethan Page, he's a heel. He's a coward. He's not going to sit there and throw hands with Javon Evans because he ain't going to win that battle. Javon Evans is a hood nigga. He ain't going to just throw hands with him like that. So he's running from him. Javon Evans is chasing him. But at the same time, Ethan is using his head. He's like, I can't let you catch me because you're going to hit me and it's going to hurt. But also, if I keep letting you lose your cool, I can kind of maybe sneak in and I can capital on that, capital on that position, right? Capitalize. So whatever you fucking get too angry about because you're a hothead, whatever, right? And eventually you get this fucking spot, bro. Mind you, this is only like maybe a minute in the match. fucking Javon Evans, because he ain't gonna catch Ethan Page, because Ethan keeps running like a little bitch. Ethan, he runs around the ring. Javon acts like he's gonna get out the ring. He jukes him. He runs to the other side of the ring where Ethan is at now, and this motherfucker hits one of the most stiffest fucking, like, bro, you think Darby Allin has stiff suicide dives? You know what the suicide dive reminded me of a little bit? Especially because he kind of overshot it a little bit. Ironically enough, because Booker T's right there on commentary. It reminded me of the one that Benoit did to Booker back in 2006 for the United States Championship. He hit him so fucking hard with a suicide dive. But like, he kind of overshot him, but his knee caught Ethan right in the face. And it just fucked up Ethan's whole shit, bro. I don't know if he broke his nose or whatever, but like, Ethan was leaking throughout the entire match. He was just leaking. He was done. And then Javon is just on the attack, just beating the dog shit out of him. Mind you, Javon has a mouthpiece in his in the match because he's trying to tell the story that his jaw's broken and he wants to protect it, right? So the entire time, Ethan knows he's not going to be able to hit Javon in the face as easy as he thought he is. So while they're fighting, it gets to a point where Javon takes Ethan's head and he puts it on the stairs, and you can see the blood just dripping out of Ethan's nose or mouth or whatever onto the stairs. And it looks like Javon's gonna curve stomp him on the stairs, is what it looks like. Not Seth Rollins' curve stomp, but like an actual fucking curve stomp. And then like, he missed. Javon Evans, when he went for the stump, he missed, and then Ethan locked his legs in between the steps and the pole, then he kicked it. He kind of like Pillmanized him a little tiny bit between the stairs and the pole, and that's what he was working on the entire match. While he was working on it though, just working over the leg, Javon was trying to muster up a couple of comebacks, but eventually, actually, hold on for a second, Stephanie Vaquer is there. Actually, you know, she's probably not saying anything, unless someone comes in the screen, which I doubt would be important. Let me continue with this, because I kind of want to keep up with this. Eventually, when we get towards the finish, right, Javon Evans takes an what's he calling it? The Ego's Edge, right? I think is that what he calls it. And Javon kicks out, which had me confused because I thought that was Ethan Page's finisher. Apparently not. I didn't know this was Ethan Page's finisher, the actual finisher. But when he kicked out of it, eventually, you know, he rolled out of the ring. And when he rolled out of the ring, right? Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. Ethan, he kicked out of it. And then afterwards, Javon Evans, I forgot what he did in order to make Ethan roll out of the ring. But when he did it, he eventually hit him with a top rope suicide dive, which looked really impressive because he was trying to sell the knee. And as he's selling the knee, he's walking, he's hobbling, then he just jumps over the ropes. So I thought that was really, really fucking cool. And eventually, after that, he throws him right back inside the ring, right? And when he throws him back in the ring, he tries to go for whatever maneuver. I think he tried to go for a springboard cutter or whatever. He goes for the springboard cutter, and as he bounces off the ropes, fucking Ethan Page just decks his ass in midair, knocks his shit loose. It looked so gnarly. And his mouthpiece falls out and everything. It flies out of the air. It was fucking awesome. And then he picks him up and then he hits him with the twist of fate. But he has a name for it. I just don't know. And then he gets the win off of the twist of fate. And you could just see Javon Evans, there's a pool of blood around his mouth from where he took the spot. Obviously, that's just him selling. And then you have Ethan Page, and he has blood. They look like they went through a fucking war, right? Right, I like the camera shot with the blood coming out of his mouth. And in the background, you have Ethan bleeding, but he's extending above him. Again, just all great shit. And that's just a nice, solid way of how to create a babyface. A great match, great story, great background, just a great quality match. Now, something that I am not feeling right now, and Shawn Michaels, he knows better than this. He knows better than this. Let's get to it right now. I do not like the fact that the NXT Championship that's the penultimate match to the women's match. I disagree with that booking whole fucking heartedly. What the fuck is Shawn Michaels doing, and what the fuck is he thinking? There better be something coming out of that women's main event. I disagree with this wholeheartedly. Let's watch it and we'll judge it on its face. But the booking, no. I just no. But Javon Evans and Ethan Page, yes. Fucking yes. Okay, so I'm not. I'm willing to wait this out, and I finally figured out their name. Retribution. That's their name. That was the old jobber stable that were acting like Antifa. They came out again. They came out again after the Oba Femi triple threat match, and it's like, you know what? I'll give my opinion on that in a minute. Let's talk about this triple threat match. This shit kicked so much ass. Now, the thing that I will say about this is it kind of leaned a little bit too much into the story gimmick element, right? This was the most handicap. I mean, bruh, if you know your wrestling history, you will know, at least for me, the most handicapped triple threat match I think I've ever seen in my life was Taker, Kane, and Austin back at what would have been like a Breakdown, right? Because I think Judgment Day was the special guest referee match. I think Breakdown is when Austin lost the belt to Taker and Kane, and they had to vacate the championship belt. But yeah, this triple threat match was just it was literally Austin Theory and Grayson Waller just jumping them the entire time, while simultaneously hitting each other by accident, but at the same time not. Wait, hold up, I see Ava. Hang on for a second. All right, they're not really saying much, although it is pretty cool. They said they're going to do a standard delivery in Madison Square Garden. I think that's what they said. So that's pretty cool. Where's WrestleMania at this year? They're in Las Vegas, right? So is it going to be in Madison Square Garden, or did I hear that correct? Who cares? We'll get there when we get there. Getting back to the triple threat, though. Like I said, OP fucking handicap match. OP as fuck with the handicap spots. But nevertheless, hey, look, Santino Marella. That's what's up. Oh, yeah, that is Ariana Grace's dad, right? I forgot about that. I keep getting sidetracked. I should not be getting sidetracked with a World Championship match, but that's what happens when you put it in the middle of the fucking card, Sean. But like I said, they started the match off jumping him, beating the fuck out of him, but at the same time, Oba Femi, he was holding his own, he was overpowering them. You know, we did get to a spot outside the ring where I guess Austin Theory, he was attempting to take the stairs off, and then Oba Femi ended up taking the stairs off, and then he just fucking lawn darts it at Austin Theory, and he just takes his fucking head off. And then, you know, he turns around, and then Grayson Waller starts to attack him with a steel chair, actually hits him with a DDT onto the stairs also, throws him back into the ring, and surprisingly, Grayson Waller was doing a better job. I'll tell you this much. They jumped them throughout the match, but I feel like this time period right here, this spot right here with Grayson Waller attacking Oba Femi, I feel like he was doing more at that point in time. He was doing more by himself than they both did combined. I don't know. It was really, really weird. But Grayson Waller took it to him before, you know, obviously, eventually, you know, Austin Theory didn't want him to win the championship belt, so, you know, eventually he kept interrupting a few times. We did get a somewhat scary spot. It looked kind of scary because I didn't know if he was selling as far as his knees getting all warbly and shit, but they did do a Tower of Doom spot with all three competitors, but Austin Theory, he ended up pulling it off, which was pretty cool. Unfortunately, because Grayson Waller was on the top, you know, he was at the very, very top, and he took the brunt of it. You know, Austin Theory took it upon himself to go take a pinfall off for Oba Femi before Oba kicked out of it, right? They're all going back and forth, doing their thing. Eventually, we get a table spot because Oba brought a table out, right? And he was put on top of the table by Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Grayson Waller ended up hitting the elbow drop on Oba Femi through the table, and then Austin Theory threw him back in the ring and then went for a pinfall, and Oba kicked out, and Grayson's like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? And while he was paying attention to him, Oba Femi took advantage of it. He hit him with a maneuver. Eventually, Grayson Waller broke it up. He tried to attack Oba Femi also. Oba Femi went back and forth for him. Eventually, they went outside the ring. Oba ended up throwing him through an announcement table, and then he went back into the ring, and then he was caught by Austin Theory with an 8-town down. And then Austin Theory went for the pinfall, but Grayson Waller got up, and then he pulled the referee out of the ring, and then he fell right back down again. And while Grayson Waller is like telling him, I can't let you win the match, I can't let you win the match, Austin Theory's not paying attention. He turns around and he takes a maneuver from Femi, right? Eventually, Grayson Waller gets back inside the ring. He breaks up he breaks up the maneuver or breaks up the pinfall. They're all going back and forth for a little bit longer. Eventually, accidentally, Grayson Waller took Austin Theory out. Grayson Waller turned around, he got lifted up, and then he got hit with the pop-up powerbomb in order to take the loss, and Femi ends up retaining his championship to the surprise of absolutely nobody. But I will say this, it was pretty good in terms of like not having them touch, you know what I mean? Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, that is. They did their best to not let them touch. They touched a few times, but it was accidentally, you know what I mean? They never actually went at it head up, which is fine because I'm pretty sure they want to save that for a later date for them to do their thing. Now, whether or not they're going to do that on NXT is a question. I don't know if they're going to go back to the main roster and do something, but that was nice. You know, you want to tease it without actually giving it, right? Right? Because, I mean, how long has it been since these two been arguing with each other? It feels like they've been doing this for like a year now, right? Damn near. So hopefully there's going to be a payoff when it's all said and done. But we're not done yet, though. Because after the match, these four jabronis came right back again. The same people that attacked Fraxiom and Josh Briggs and Fat Vegeta. Ended up beating the fuck out of them. They came out. They legit look like Retribution. Like, for real, for real. Now the theme song with the flickering lights. Because, like, seriously, what is with... They do this shit with every fucking, like, dark stable nowadays, right? Like, the dark underbelly gimmick. Like, whether it's fucking... You remember the Ascension? When they were a group? Or the tag team version. Either version. They did it with them. They fucking did it with Sanity. Remember them? Eric Young's group. They did it with Retribution. I don't know what the fuck is with them always doing this dark underbelly. We are the angst of society. So when we come out, flash a bunch of lights and make the cameras look crazy, but flash a bunch of lights. They do that shit all the time. It's so lame, bro. But that's what they did. They kind of fucking reappeared. They were like out there in the stands, and then they reappeared in the ring, and they beat the fuck out of Femi, and they left him laid out. Ended up doing like a newer version of the Shield's the Shield's powerbomb spot, but instead of like handing them off, they ended up slingshotting Femi into a double powerbomb. I don't know who these guys are. I quite frankly don't care. I'm kind of over stables right now, to be honest with you. But I guess I'm willing to see what the hell they're gonna provide. I'm willing to see what they're gonna bring to the table. But yeah, I'm very much over all the stupid fucking stable stuff. God damn, Roxanne Perez got a little bit of an ass on her. But as you can see, as I'm saying this, Roxanne Perez is coming out right now. Like I said, I'm not gonna rant and rave about it as far as this being the spot until after the match. If it delivers, there's no point obviously bitching. If it doesn't deliver, oh, you're gonna get a bitch. Oh, you're gonna get a rant. You're gonna get a fucking rant from me. Because for all intents and purposes, that Femi spot should have been the main event. You should have gave him something more of a presentation as far as the opponent he could have went up against, and that should have been the main event if you felt like you couldn't put Austin Theory and Grayson Waller in the main event. But like I said, I'll bite my tongue. If the match delivers, perfect. I see why you made it the main event. If it delivers. If it doesn't deliver, you'll see. You'll see. All right. Credit where credit is due. Like I said, if it delivered, I'm gonna. Okay, it delivered. It delivered. The women's match absolutely delivered. When I say it was match of the night, I still think Javon Evans and Ethan Page kind of inks it out a little tiny bit. But if you were to say that this was the best match of the night, I wouldn't argue with you. Okay, it deserved to be the main event. It deserved to be the main event. Now, does that mean that every show going forward, that should be the case? No. Does that mean that you should have gave someone to Femi that could have theoretically, been a more logical reasoning as to why he should have main evented? Absolutely. I'm not going to take away from that. Femi as world champion should main event every show. I do not like it when women main event the shows. Now, unless it's something where it's just like something like ridiculous, like Sasha Banks and Bayley, ironically enough. Yeah, I get that main eventing, right? I get it. Especially with the story that took place back in 2015. I'm talking specifically Sasha and Bayley. I get stuff like that. You know what I mean? Maybe even to a degree, I get Toni Storm and Mariah May for an example. I even get that. But just to have them randomly, a random Fatal 4-Way match, main event your pay-per-view with Oba Femi right there, no, absolutely not. It's like you look for an excuse just to have the main event. I disagree with that, and I don't want to see that ever again, honestly. But with that being said, these girls went out there and they fucking killed it. And considering that you can make an argument that it was match of the night, I guess it should have main evented this show in particular. Although they shouldn't have been put into a position where whatever. I'm beating a dead horse. Let's talk about the match in itself, though. Again, these girls, they went back and forth. Very choreographed spots, but choreographed spots that actually hit well, right? It kind of had that same feeling. That same kind of feeling that Sasha and Bayley and Charlotte and Becky had in their Fatal 4-Way match back in 2014. Actually, about 10 years ago at this point now, right? That match happened in February too, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think so. Yeah, I believe so. Because I can't remember who won the match. I think Charlotte won the match, but no, I think it was Sasha Banks. I think Sasha actually pinned Charlotte or tapped her out, one of the two. But yeah, same feeling. A bunch of transitional holds, bunch of running in, stealing pins from other girls, and another girl will come and steal a pin, and another girl will come and steal a pin. Nice story being told as far as, the build up between Giulia and not Giulia, excuse me. Actually, yeah, Giulia too, but more in particular, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade trying to coexist with each other in terms of working together to get the objective done, but at the same time they have to look over each other's shoulder, especially Roxanne Perez, because Cora Jade turned on her first when they were tag team champions a couple of years ago, and it played itself out very, very well. I liked how Bayley, for the most part throughout the match, she was never necessarily in there. I mean, I know Booker was playing the heel in this and he was trying to talk about Bayley taking the spotlight, but in reality it was the complete opposite. Bayley kind of she was there just to pretty much play the bass, you know what I mean? Like, she let all the shine for the most part. Like, if I were to say who got the least amount of spots in this entire match, it was probably Bayley, like, which you kind of expected to be the case because of the kind of person Bayley is, how she carries herself backstage. Obviously, she knew that she was there only because she was the biggest name in the match, and they just wanted an excuse just to main event the match. That's what it felt like, at least. And she knew that, hey, I'm just here just to lend my credibility as far as my name value is to the match. All the spotlight's gonna go on the girls, and that's exactly how it went down. Giulia, Cora Jade, and Roxanne Perez, they pretty much just wrestled each other with Bayley, sometimes intermediately going inside there and doing something. But I can't tell you anything special that Bayley did in the match that she wouldn't typically do on an episode of SmackDown or anything, right? I like the one spot that happened with it's a pretty small spot, but I did like it nonetheless. It was because, like, I don't know if anyone picked up on it, but like, it was a spot where you had Cora Jade, right? And she has, I guess it would have been what's her name again? I guess, yeah, Giulia. No, I guess it would have been Bayley in the corner. Bayley's in the corner and Roxanne Perez is in the corner. And mind you, they're all helping each other out throughout the entire thing, Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez. And I love how, because you don't typically see this, Cora Jade, how they do the tag team spot where one person will be in the corner and then they Irish whip their tag person into the corner. They had like a body splash or a clothesline. Well, Roxanne Perez, mind you, they're helping each other. They're helping each other. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. They're in the middle of the spot. Roxanne did that to Cora, right? She threw her into Bayley, and then like Bayley got thrown into the corner, and then Roxanne is gonna set up the same thing for Bayley for Cora Jade. And when they threw Bayley into the corner again, Roxanne ran, and as soon as she ran into the corner, Cora Jade just ran over there and just hit her with a CM Punk knee right in the face. I just loved it. I loved how, like, out of place the backstabbing happened, and she ended up using both of their favorite wrestler signature move in order to do the whole turning. You know, I just thought that was really cool. Maybe that's just me who's looking a little bit too deep into it. I mean, eventually Roxanne did get her revenge when Cora Jade went to the turnbuckle to do a maneuver on Bayley, it looked like, and then Roxanne came in and threw her off the turnbuckle. But they were going back at it a little bit longer. You got another Tower of Doom spot, but this time it was Roxanne on the turnbuckle, Giulia doing a butterfly suplex, Bayley in the corner also with Cora Jade hitting the powerbomb on all three girls, and she went for a near fall there. You did have Cora Jade eventually hit, I think it was also Bayley. Again, Bayley was there just to be a base. She took Cora Jade's finisher, you know, the future shot DDT, and then Roxanne Perez broke it up, and then she's like, "Are you kidding me?" And then she grabbed Roxanne Perez by the hair. She was like mad at her, even though it's a fatal four-way match. She kind of expect that to be the case. But Giulia eventually took advantage of it. And, you know, they all started going back and forth. Eventually, the finish came towards the match where all girls started to fall out. You know, Bayley took a move. She was outside the ring. Then Roxanne, she gave a move to Cora. She was outside the ring. And then it came down to Roxanne and Giulia. And Giulia ended up hitting her in the face with a running knee strike. She calls it the Arrivederci. Looked like a shining wizard, but I mean, that's what she calls it. Then she pulled her in again for another Arrivederci. This time it looked like a one person, I don't know, what they call it? The Young Bucks finisher, the elite, or whatever the fuck they call it, the little knee move they do. It looked like that, but just with one person, I guess. Then she picks her up and then she hits her with like not a Michinoku driver, but like a Northern Lights bomber, I guess technically, or Emerald. No, it would have been an Emerald. Emerald Flosion is kind of like a Oklahoma Stampede into the drop directly into the. I guess that'd be a Northern Lights bomb she hit her with, and then she ended up winning the match off of that. And she's celebrating in the ring, and eventually, what's her name comes out, Stephanie Vaquer. She comes out with her newly crowned North American Women's Championship, and they're both in the ring celebrating, saying that this is essentially the new version of the women's evolution going forward. You know, you got the first phase with the Asukas of the world and the Four Horsewomen of the world. Then you got the second phase with the Roxanne Perez's and stuff like that, which looks like, you know, the Roxannes and the Tiffany Strattons, and, you know, it looks like Roxanne's about to go to the main roster. And now you have the era of Giulia and Stephanie Vaquer. And then afterwards, out comes Jordynne Grace. She comes out and she stares them both down. So obviously this is the new era. These are the women who are leading the new era. And like I said, this was a great women's match. Good shit indeed. Like I said, personally, I think it's the second best match of the night. If you said it's the first, I understand. I think it's the second, though. I think Ethan Page and Javon Nevis is fucking killed it tonight. I'll probably give them both the same rating just on its face, but I still think Javon and Ethan, they're more closer to a 3 3/4 versus, you know, like that's the women's main event. That's just a solid 3.5 star match. Javon and Ethan was bordering on 3 3/4. If they would have won a little bit longer, they would have been 3 3/4. Like, that was a fucking awesome match. But the women did their thing also, and it was a solid main event. Nice way to close out the show. And overall, the show was just a solid show. Just a quality Saturday night show. You sit through. The crowd was hot throughout the night. I love the production. I love just looking at arenas that are just that short. Kind of the show. Now, obviously, some of you guys are going to be a little bit too young to understand where I come from when I say this, but the show gave me very, very strong In Your House vibes. Like, that's what it felt like watching the show. This show, it feels like an In Your House show circa 1997. That's what this show felt like. Like, it just, I wish more WWE pay-per-views that happen monthly would just give us quality like this. I think this should be the standard. I'm not saying this show is show of the year. I'm not saying this is the greatest show of all time. It was just a solid, consistent show that gives you a reason to want to tune into NXT, because you're going to want to see what's going to happen with the fallout with these weirdos walking around beating up everybody, and you're going to want to see what's going to happen with Jordynne Grace. It was just a quality like a restaurant feeling in your house type of show, and I appreciate that. Now again, the booking I might have a problem with as far as having the women main event. That's a story in another time, although I told that story already, but it does take away from the quality, and it does take away from the fact that the women did kill it, and the rest of the superstars tonight did their thing. Nothing that was terrible. A lot of average, but nothing that was terrible. But you did get two really, 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 really fun matches. One pretty damn good match, and the other matches, if for nothing else, they did their job and they were average. But let me hear your thoughts down in the comment section below in regards to how you felt about the show. Do you agree with me? Are there things that you would have swapped around? Are there things that you would have done completely different? How did you feel about the show tonight? Let me know. I mean, I actually do kind of care. I really do. I do. Your mom told me I had to care. If I didn't care, I wouldn't get any pussy. So just believe me when I say that I absolutely do care. All right, that's about it. Did I fulfill my required time? Are we good? All right, go back home with your parents, you little snot-nosed bitch. My child support duties are over with. A deuces and a P. Eyes.
So fuck you. That's another 93. That's another 93. That's another 93. That's another 93.